Are you an iPhone 13 or a 14 user? Is it worth upgrading from the iPhone 13 or a 14 to upgrade to the latest iPhone 15? So here are my top 3 reasons why you should upgrade to the latest iPhone 15. So let's start off from the display. The iPhone 14 have the notch display versus the iPhone 15 has this dynamic island. Is it really useful? Then I would say somewhat it's an yes. Actually, if you open few apps like clock, and if you go to the timers, and if you set the timer, and if you just swipe up, you can see those apps would be on the dynamic island, and if you press and hold like this, actually you can interact with those apps. Actually, so multitasking is made a bit easier with dynamic island. Not only they just started dynamic island, but also enhance the brightness levels. Actually, the iPhone 14 have a typical brightness of 800 nits versus this guy comes with 1000 nits. And the next thing is, if you ask about the HDR peak brightness, actually this guy have 1200 nits on the iPhone 14 versus 1600 nits peak brightness on the iPhone 15. And the next thing is 2000 nits peak outdoor brightness for the iPhone 15. So guys, let's start from the display comparison. This is the iPhone 15 versus this is the iPhone 14, and you can see it's a bit more saturated colors on the iPhone 15 if you compare with the iPhone 14. And apart from that, both of them looks really good. And if you ask me about the resolution, the iPhone 15 comes with 2156 into 1179 and almost close to this guy. That means 2132 into 1170, and both are at 460 ppi. And yeah, iPhone 15. Okay, now iPhone 14. The audio experience was almost same to same on both. Actually, the stereo effects was really good. The loudness was perfect. And if you ask me about the quality of the audio, that was the audio was really refined on point. Next, the biggest upgrade is in the camera. So the iPhone 14 have 12 mm main camera versus this guy is just bumped up from 12 directly to 48 mm main camera on the iPhone 15. And next we are getting a 12 MP ultra wide and then a 12 MP selfie camera for both of them. But the main thing is actually it have a different optical zoom range options. Actually, this iPhone 14 have 0.5, that means ultra wide, then 1x only. But this guy, the iPhone 15 have 0.5x, that means ultra wide, 1x and 2x of it, which is really good for portraits. So I just tried out few of the portraits and played with the cinematic modes and few of them, and it was really good. So the most interesting part, actually both have the 0.5x ultra wide, then both have the 1x, and then iPhone 15 have the advantage of 2x option. That makes the portrait photos looks really cool. And if you look at the video, you can see in video also we are getting the same 2x option, and even in the cinematic also we are getting the 2x option. So in every terms, actually there is a 2x advantage. That means the 2x optical advantage is for the iPhone 15. That makes definitely a really improvement in terms of the photos as well as videos. Which is iPhone 15 versus which is iPhone 14. You couldn't tell any difference between both of them, right? But actually this is the iPhone 15 versus this is the iPhone 14, and you can see both are really neck in neck close against each other. And if you ask me a bit better, I would say iPhone 15, you can see the colors are a bit better over here. Actually, this is a bit more natural on the iPhone 14. Let us look at a few more samples. And this is another portrait shots, and both looks really stunning over there. Crisp, clear details on both of them. What is the advantage of just a 2x portrait camera? And you can see the difference literally from this picture. You can see the same location. I took these two of them, but you can see the detail and the close-up shot which is available on the iPhone 15 versus the same location which is available on the iPhone 14. So I think that's a clear win for the iPhone 15. Another shot which is taken, and it feels like this is an ultra wide and this is a close-up portrait, but actually the thing is both are at portraits. And if you look really close, actually the background depth effect is really good on both of them, but you can see it literally from the picture that this is really a promising on the iPhone 15. But actually it's a matter of perspective. If you can just move a little bit close to the subject, then you could take almost same to this. Actually, I'm mentioning this have an option of 1x as well as 2x, so that's definitely advantage over here. And next, another shot, the same location, and you can see the difference between both of them. Again, a clear win for the iPhone 15. And in terms of the normal if you look at the same location for both of them, you can still, you can't see much difference. Both are really sharp, I would say. And the next is another shot which is taken on the 1x, and if you look really close, you can see this is a matter of HDR balance, and you can see the iPhone 15 takes a bit better photos than the iPhone 14. You can see a bit more dark areas over here, and it's slightly better, I would say, very slight better on the iPhone 15. And another ultra wide shot, and in this ultra wide shot actually both are equally good, but actually the thing is both lose detail. You can see both are losing detail, and when we crop it, this you can see no details over here and no details over here. So both just failed to attain details on the ultra wide shot, but actually it's an ultra wide, obviously more field of view. That's it. Portrait shot, so you can see the difference and look at the detail on the iPhone 15 versus if you look at closer on the iPhone 14. Yeah, both are really close, and if I'm gonna zoom in the max levels, and this, and if you observe now at this point, you can see that the iPhone 15 is a clear when you can see the more details on the iPhone 15 versus, if you ask me, just okay image for the iPhone 14. Front camera video stabilization 4K at 60 fps. Let's turn it on, and you can see both are equally stabilized at the front camera, even at 4K at 60 fps. No issues for the front camera video recording. This action mode for the rear camera for the video stabilization, and you can see both are really good for the action mode. And you can see this feels like I was walking, but actually I was running it at a normal speed, you can see, but still it's perfectly stabilized on both of them. And again, the advantage for 2x, you can see the portraits which is on the iPhone 15 versus the same location it took the portraits on the iPhone 14, and you can literally see the difference really close up versus stunning shot on the iPhone 15. Literally you can see the again the 2x advantage. But if you're a person who is okay with the 1x portrait shot, then it's perfectly fine for an iPhone 14. I am saying you have the options for choosing which one do you like based on the subject, and also that's a bit more personal preference matter. And another shot at the same location, you can see the details versus this is the 1x shot, and you can obviously see, and in some areas actually I think the face details is better on the iPhone 15 versus it's just okay for the iPhone 14. Cinematic modes on the iPhone 15 versus the iPhone 14, and both are really good in terms of the cinematic shots. You can see the background blur, everything is really good. This upgrade is the chipset. Apple A15 Bionic on the iPhone 14 versus Apple's A16 Bionic, which was seen on the iPhone 14 Pro, and the Pro Max is now on the iPhone 15, which is a really good upgrade from the iPhone 14. Let's start from the Geekbench 6. So the single core score is 2132 on the iPhone 15 versus 2312 on the iPhone 14. And if you ask me about the multi-core score, 6290 on the iPhone 15 versus 5157 on the iPhone 14. Next is the GPU, 23,000 on the iPhone 15 versus 20,000 around on the iPhone 14. It's time for the Antutu benchmark. You can see 13 lakh on the iPhone 15 versus 12 lakh on the iPhone 14. And if you ask me about the CPU, 3,48,000 on the iPhone 15 versus 2,73,000. That means it's a big upgrade has happened in the CPU. Now the final question: if you're already using an iPhone 14, is it worth upgrading to the latest iPhone 15? If these three things matter, the first thing is the dynamic island on the iPhone 15 with proper enhanced brightness levels. The next thing is that from A15 Bionic to the A16 Bionic with enhanced performance in CPU as well as GPU. And the third thing is from 12 MB directly to the 48 MB with 2x optical zoom levels with super portraits and cinematic shots. So if these three things matters, then you can obviously upgrade to the iPhone 15, else you can stay with this iPhone 14. So guys, that's it for today. Signing off, it's for Mania.